Time magazine interviewed Caitlyn Jenner about her experience being a trans woman, and during the interview, she had some pretty strong opinions about femininity, and if you're a trans woman, you should embrace femininity as much as possible and do your best to look like a woman so you don't make other people uncomfortable. So if ever there was a perfect example of Caitlyn Jenner not understanding her own privilege, this is the best example, okay? She says the following: one thing that has always been important to me, and it may seem very self-absorbed or whatever, is first of all, your presentation of who you are. All right, so far that seems fine. Okay, what does it mean, presentation of who you are? I think it's much easier for a trans woman or a trans man who authentically kind of looks and plays the role. So what I call my presentation. I try to take that seriously. I think it puts people at ease. She also says, if you're out there and, to be honest with you, if you look like a man in a dress, it makes people uncomfortable. So the first thing I can do is try to present myself well. Then she finally says, I want to dress well, I want to look good. When I go out, as Kim says, you've got to rock it because the paparazzi will be there. So the only thing I want to really emphasize in this story is just how unaware she is of the real obstacles and the real struggles that the trans community faces. Because the vast majority of people in the trans community who are trying to transition from a man to a woman or vice versa don't have the resources that this woman has to get the surgeries that she needs to look more feminine in her face and to get the clothing that you need to look more feminine. All of those things cost money. And a lot of people in the trans community are living in poverty right now. So when you make strong statements about, like, if you're a trans woman, you should do your best to look as feminine as possible, it's like you're judging them and you're looking down at them as if they don't want to look feminine. A lot of them do want that, but they don't have the same resources as you.
But to be fair, Anna, I mean, she's getting advice from someone from a different class, Kim Kardashian.
Right.
So
who is an expert on all things.
Yeah, I mean, and if anyone knows how to connect to the underprivileged in America, it's Kim Kardashian, right?
These people are monuments to superficiality to begin with.
Yes.
If you're looking for any kind of great depth, you're not going to find it here. I mean, even Caitlyn Jenner, and I know she's been celebrated in all these different ways, but as you say, she had a safety net of celebrity, of reality show. I mean, she leapfrogged her whole family with this, with what was a sincere, but I'm going to use this word now nonetheless. Now I sound like Cenk. I'm going to use this word, though, this stunt, okay? Mm-hmm. But I understand it was a sincere act, you know, an incredibly courageous one in a way, but I'm saying in another sense, in a superficial way, in a television way, it was a stunt, and it worked. It got all the attention, and she's bathed in glory. And so, with that lengthy preamble, I will say that I think these comments clearly reflect a superficiality, and as you suggest, an ignorance on what the people who are really involved in a struggle, a sexual struggle, are going through.
Look, she has been a Republican all her life, which I find interesting because Republicans hate her and they hate what she represents. But one thing that she's against is, you know, any like government programs that help the needy. Like she's spoken out against that on her own show that's supposed to deal with, you know, transgender issues. And the thing is, she's just so unaware. She's in her own bubble and she doesn't understand. Like, you might be part of that community, but you're an anomaly, honestly, in that community. And so to use your experiences as representative of what all trans people go through and what trans people should be, I think is like cruel in some ways. Like, these comments are offensive.
You know, I don't want to now pile on here a little bit, but I have to just tell the story about Bruce Jenner before because I did a big speaking engagement at the Beverly Hilton. It was a big deal, and so I was very kind of nervous, and I had to do a keynote speech, and I was going over my notes, and I said to the guy who's the organizer, I said, well, you know, he said, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm just, you know, I just want to make sure I get this, because keynote speech is kind of, you know, you want to start with something funny, and then you want to get something serious. And I said, hey, man, relax. You'll be better than last year's keynote speech. I said, who was that? He said, Bruce Jenner. Well, what happened? Bruce Jenner's great. I mean, he took a call during the speech. The cell phone rang in his breast pocket, and he actually picked up the phone and had the conversation right there at the podium.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I thought, wow, okay, that's all I needed to know about Bruce Jenner. Now maybe he's found God since then, but that is a pretty self-centered cat, man. So,
yeah, that I never heard that. So that actually explains everything.
Yeah, it really does.
Anyway, a couple things.
No, because we talk about the bubble that people live in and how they can't understand the rest of the world, and that's why, like, poor people, why don't they get more money?
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what she's saying here. Like, trans women, why don't they look more feminine? They're making other people uncomfortable.
Right.
I mean, come on.
So now, so we talk about the limited bubble that people are in. It sounds like Caitlyn Jenner might be a bubble of one.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're so unaware that you're in front of this huge crowd that you take a call and you know, that man, like you have no conception of other human beings at all.